All right, what's going on, y'all? It is your boy TAG Law 205, aka Tyler Gates. Y'all already know. So, as you can probably see, this show is not the ordinary setup. You know, it's not the ordinary, just my face, my boring old face that you guys love to see. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest. ESPN's Mina Kimes. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you for having me on. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Once again, please, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been doing so good. Gained about 25 or so subscribers within the past week. So let's definitely get that viewership up and let's hit it right on the nail here. So I know you were in Indianapolis for the draft combine. I was actually supposed to go up there myself. Um, Definitely. How did you like the experience, and what did you get from this combine versus previous years?
Yeah, I love going to the combine. First of all, we do the TV show that I'm on, NFL Live, on site for a couple days there. But for me, the value I get out of it really is just the conversations that I have with coaches, front office folks around the league. It's kind of like a giant high school reunion, is how I would describe it. Because you just don't get to see these people all year, and some of them you text with and you share impressions with. I know it's immensely valuable for reporters who are trying to break news. For me, it's more valuable just to kind of bounce ideas off of folks and catch up, and kind of identify who some of the rising coaches and executives are, just for my own edification. um as far as like the actual workouts and the players, I do get some use out of it, especially if a guy tests in an extreme, like if it's like a
Yeah.
guy like Matthew Golden, who's the wide receiver
Mhm.
in Texas, who ran a 4.29, exceeding expectations. This is a player I already liked, but seeing him run that fast for me makes me not only have more conviction in him, but also a sense that he's going to go higher in the draft. So there are moments like that that matter. The other thing is, just listening to what people are hearing based on their interviews with the players, the medicals,
Mhm.
that kind of thing, which is really the purpose of the combine at this
Right.
point. As far as what I got out of this one, you asked, compared to the last few, I think, just it's kind of like a reality check of like, okay, what do people really think about these quarterbacks? What do people really think
Yeah.
about Travis Hunter? Should he play wide receiver or corner? So
Right.
there's just
Mhm.
specific players that I'm able to kind of gather impressions on and kind of compare them to my own.
Yeah, I kind of had the same type of answer to, especially like you mentioned Matthew Golden. He surprised me. I had him in the 4.3s. Like I had to rewind my TV and watch it back again. I said, is that him? You know, I love him coming out of Texas. He could play. He could play. I'm a Georgia fan. Go Dogs. I don't love what he did to us, but it's fine. It's fine. That's another player, right? That I had going to the Titans, surprisingly in the second round, but I even had the Titans trading up for him in the first round too. You know, if you were to pair, like you say, a Cam Ward, or if you were to draft a Shador Sanders at one, what would that wide receiver core look like? You have Calvin Ridley or the, like it's like I would rather have the talent of Matthew Golden and Cam Ward versus what the roster is looking like now. And that kind of leads into the next question I have as well. What do you think the Titans are going to do at one?
This is like the question of the draft, because it's not a foregone conclusion at
Yeah.
all, the way it has been in recent years. Um, you know, the I think there's kind of three paths that this could go. One is that they take a quarterback, and I would be shocked if Cam Ward at this point is not the first quarterback off the
I
board.
agree.
That was really the overwhelming consensus in Indianapolis, and I think it would take a lot at this point. So that's one option. The other is to take one of Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, who, again, most people believe are the two best players in the draft, myself included. The third option would be to trade down. And I think that's what the Titans would love to do, frankly.
Mhm.
Ideally for them, it would be a situation where they trade down to like 3 and they're still able to get one of those two players.
Yeah.
So it would take the Giants panicking, wanting Cam Ward, trying to jump the Browns to get him, And then if the Titans, you talked about their wide receiver group being weak, if they were able to pick up some draft capital in the process, that would be a home run draft for them. But they're in a very good position.
They are in a very good position, and I like how you broke it down in 3 parts. That definitely helps me kind of gauge it a little bit more. So thank you on that, especially with like you said, trading down. That's probably the best option for them at this current stage. They're not really sold on anybody, and even when their new GM, when he was talking about the pick, didn't really look as excited as other GMs would look. So it had me thinking, yeah, they're probably going to trade this pick when it comes down to it. And the Giants, we know how desperate they are, especially their front office. They're on the hot seat. It's real. So Cam Ward Cam Ward fits their scheme a little bit more than Shedeur Sanders. I know it sounds kind of crazy, and it's really based off of the offensive line for me, right? You have Evan Neal, you have Andrew Thomas, but other than that, it's like you don't really have anybody else that's gonna stick there, like those two. Then you need pass protection. We saw the Chiefs get dismantled based off of Patrick Mahomes having to scramble. He didn't expect that, so it's definitely one of the most important positions in the game. Protect the quarterback, please. Like it's real, and I'm a Falcons fan, and I know it's been tough out here for us. It's been tough. Also, with the linebackers who impressed, I'm pretty sure everybody the most, if not the running backs, Jihad Campbell. I can't stress that name enough. He outside of Abdul Carter, linebacker number 2, edge number 2. See, it's really tough to classify him, whether he's an edge, whether he's a linebacker. I have him either going to my Falcons or, now that the Bengals kind of franchise tag T Higgins them, but it's like where would you kind of gauge his?
Yeah, so I think he's an off-ball linebacker, and he's definitely the best in the draft. It's a position that has traditionally not been, or more, I guess, the last 10 years or so, not been valued as high as edges. I think he's a pretty rare talent, and I also think there's a pretty significant drop-off between him to the next group of linebackers. But as you said, there's, I think, teams that are going to want to just spend that kind of first round draft pick on an edge. So even if he might be a little bit better on a relative basis than some of the edges, you might see a team like Atlanta go for an edge because it's such a glaring need. I really like, you said you were a Georgia fan, I really like Jalen Walker, who also has played off the ball and on the ball. I like him as a versatile playmaker, and I think you can use him both ways. He gets compared a lot to Frankie Louvu and Washington, who's also kind of used as a blitzer and also playing off the ball. I just think get him on the football field and figure it out. I actually have him as my edge too, even though, again, he's a little bit untraditional, a little bit of a tweener. I just think his tools, his athletic traits are just so undeniable.
Yeah, and even though my dislike for Alabama's there, but I can't discount how linebacker history, they Will Anderson, we can go on talking about how they've had great running backs come out of that school. I mean, linebackers, excuse me. But speaking of favorites, I want to get to your Seahawks because you said last year. Now, I'm an avid watcher of the show. I watch. Trust me. Go subscribe, guys, please. Last year, you said that the likelihood of any of the quarterbacks being better than Geno Smith was low. What do you think this year? If if John Snyder, somehow he actually listens to you this year, and he actually takes a quarterback. A lot of people have been saying Jackson Dart. I have Jackson Dart being mocked there. I love Geno Smith. Don't get me wrong, but I would love to see the Seahawks kind of trick some people, because I don't think they're really gonna. I don't really think they're gonna actually draft a quarterback, but to actually see them, Jackson Dart, that would be, it would be crazy. But what do you think about it as a Seahawks fan?
Yeah, well, so to clarify for folks who may not have watched it, I mean, the quarterbacks the Seahawks could have taken, not
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, you know. And I feel the same way this year, Tyler. Like, I just don't think. Frankly, I actually think even if they were picking higher, I would say the same thing. But I don't. I think their chances of upgrading at the quarterback position are pretty low, either in
Mhm.
the draft
Yeah.
or in free agency or trades. I mean, on the shows that I'm on, we are spending hours of television time talking about how Sam Darnold is like the cream of the crop, and
Yeah.
who's going to pick Justin Fields and whatnot. And I think when you have those conversations, you realize, maybe Geno Smith is a pretty
Yeah.
good guy to stick with, not someone you want to move on from. I think they might consider taking quarterback in the mid rounds as developmental options, although they
Mhm.
did trade for Sam Howell, who got kind of thrown into the fire last year. And they gave a pretty significant draft pick for him when they traded
You
for him
did.
from Washington. So my feeling is they probably want to develop him more and see if there's something there rather
Yeah.
than taking another shot at QB, because they just do have a lot of other teams on that roster, or needs, pardon me, on that roster.
Yeah, like and if I agree on that, like even when some of my friends, I have one of my friends who is a Seahawks fan. He was like, I don't really know if we should take a quarterback because I like Geno Smith, and I'm like, see, you're torn between it. If I was the Seahawks, just stick with Geno Smith. I mean, he's one of the, his comeback story is amazing, and you guys gave him a chance, and we seen what he do with that chance, and in the right situation the Seahawks at their best, they're a Super Bowl contender. We have seen them, pretty much. We've seen Geno Smith at his best with the Seahawks. That's a team I won't count out next year versus Miami, who I think their last run is coming. They need to do something
Mm.
fast. The Seahawks, on the other hand, they're okay. And like I've been telling people, they're fine. Just give it time. They they will trust me. I've seen it. So I know. And then to kind of piggyback of what you said with the veteran quarterbacks, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, with the Vikings, and it's tough for me to even kind of gauge them. You drafted JJ McCarthy, then you say you weren't going to trade him. Then there's rumors saying that you are going to trade him, and then you want to work with Sam Darnold on a contract. Is it like, what do you think they should do? Do you think they should trade him, on the franchise tag, or do you think
Darnold.
should keep him and then look to trade JJ? What do you think?
Well, it looks like they're not going to tag Darnold, based on the early reporting. So I think that they're more likely to just part ways with him,
Mhm.
just because of the type of contract that he's going to be able to command in free agency. And really, it's a supply demand issue, as I alluded to.
Yeah.
I think with McCarthy, one of the big benefits of having a quarterback on a rookie contract is the value. And if you're spending that $30 million plus, and it would take probably significantly more than that to retain Sam Darnold, you don't reap the benefits of that. You can't improve your interior offensive line, your defense, your corners. So I think that they're okay moving on from him. I think the end of the season made it easier for them to make the decision the way things ended.
Mhm.
But really, it's just about the market for him. I just think they're going to be priced out of it. Like, I think they would love to bring him back if it was on a very reasonable contract, but I just don't think that's going to be available to them.
Yeah, it's like, hey, he's gonna splurge. Like he's gonna he's trust me, he's gonna take the money. I don't know. It would be funny. Now I've thought about this. He got drafted by the Jets. It would be hilarious if he went to the Giants. It would be hilarious, and poor Jets fans, God bless them. I feel so bad for them. I do. I feel so bad for them. They have no consistency, and
Yeah.
the Giants fans, at least be happy that you have had a Hall of Fame quarterback more recently. We're talking about a franchise that I'm not going to go into what I normally go into, but like Joe Namath, like, come on, guys. It's been that long. It's been that long. And then to have two Green Bay stars, please, Jordan Love, whatever you do, don't go to New York in your career. Because just see what happens to Packers quarterbacks that go to New York. It doesn't work out good. It doesn't work out good. But if and this is my last question, if there is any surprise that you could predict in the draft, whether it's trade, whether it's a player, what do you think is going to happen?
That's a fun one. I I guess I do think it's possible that somebody might trade up to draft Cam Ward, and it could be a mystery. It could be the Giants, could be the Browns having fear of being jumped by the Giants, could be the Raiders, could be the Jets. I think that there is pretty overwhelming consensus that he is the quarterback that people want.
Yeah.
What that would take, and I also think the Titans are very much willing to sell that pick. So I think that would be something I would watch out for.
As long as it's not the Saints, I just
Don't think that's gonna
I
happen.
would love the storylines, but I just, they don't have the guts to do it. I just don't think they would be like, you know what, we're gonna trade up 8 spots. I don't think. I think they're gonna take Tedero McMillan if he's there. If he's not there, Jalen Walker. If he falls
I don't
past
think either of them
Carolina,
are. Well, oh, the Saints. Yeah, I think Walker is a great pick for them.
yeah, they need help desperately. Like their cap situation, they need to just. Sometimes you just have to let everybody go, right, and start fresh. And the Saints, they're one of the 5 teams that I think that need to do that. And of course with the Deebo Samuel trade as well. McMillan makes more sense in San Francisco. I think so. I threw that idea out there. You give Brock Purdy a legit wide receiver 1. Now that's not to take away from Ayuk, because we've seen what he can do, but with him possibly being traded, why not? Why not think about Tedero McMillan's here? Let's try to trade up for him. Let's try to trade up for him. But at the end of the day, this draft is going to be very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. Kind of shades of 2021, but I feel like it's going to be better. It's going to be better than that draft. It's going to be better than that draft. So, guys, once again, let me know down below, one, your surprise pick. I know a lot of you have been saying Seahawks should take a quarterback. Well, look again. And let me know if Tennessee really should trade the pick or if they should keep it based on value at the top. To the audience, once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in my DMs, also in my comments. You don't have to just be strictly YouTube, guys, please. Like, I have an Instagram. So that's it for this video. NFL draft and free agency talk. It's steaming up, guys. It's steaming up. So hey, it's gonna get hot and heavy. It's gonna get real hot and heavy. Thank you guys for joining. And yeah, stay live. And here we go. We're on the road. Here we go.